Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Jillian Castor. I'm an implementation coach for Reading Horizons. My colleague Joanna and I wanted to create 3 short videos for you so that you can start thinking about how to incorporate the spelling supplement into your e-learning. We're going to do a little bit of modeling, and for that, we will be pulling from grade 3, week 6 instruction. This first video is all going to be about day 1 of instruction. And as we are going along, I'm going to be assuming that you do have the materials with you. If you don't have your instructor cards and your teacher resource manual and review activities book, that is okay. There are still tons of resources available on Reading Horizons Accelerate, as well as the packets that we've been curating during this time for remote learning that are available on readinghorizons.com/virtual. So for today, for this video, I'm just going to be focusing on day 1 of instruction. When thinking about your instruction for this, really just think about whatever platform that you're already using with your students and families and go from there. I'm going to model using Google, but if you don't use Google and you've been using, let's say, Seesaw, I want you to just be thinking about how this would work and look in Seesaw. During this time, it's really important that we keep things as easy as possible for our families and as stress-free as possible for our families. So whatever it is that you're already using, I would recommend just sticking with that. If you haven't used anything, Google is a great form to use. So for day 1 or Monday of instruction, we are going to give a pre-test and then spend some time in the most common word instruction. For the pre-test, I created a form on Google Forms. And for this pre-test, I would use Zoom, let's say, somewhere where my students can come together virtually in live time. I would make sure that they were emailed or had access to this form or whatever form you're using before you start your live administration of the test. So they would come on, meet you in Zoom or whatever platform, have this open, ready to go, have their name in there, and then you are going to start to administer. Now, for this pretest, there's only 5 skill words and 1 sentence for sentence dictation. We say that during tests for the spelling supplement, you don't have to do dictation. You can just give them the word. However, since this is virtually, I'm going to recommend that you do give each word twice and have them repeat. We know that audio isn't always the best. There can be feedback. There can be people talking in the background of wherever your students are. So giving it to them dictation style will be best practice here. So you would just say, all right, students, I'm so glad you're here. We're just gonna start with a quick pre-test just to see where we're at. Get ready to catch. Rim, rim. They would repeat back to you. Have you ever been to the rim of the Grand Canyon? Awesome. Now here what you can do is have them, before they type it in, write it on a piece of paper and prove the word. What that's going to do is create a scaffold for your student and an opportunity for them to double check the word. So they can do that. When they're done, they would put it in. In this case, it is going to be case sensitive, so that it will all have to be lowercase. And then you would just go through the list. Once they get down to the sentence for sentence dictation, you can even count those words out on your fingers for them. So for example, all right, class, last is your sentence. Here it is. She can pitch the ball with her left hand. She can pitch the ball with her left hand. Repeat. They would repeat. All right, students, that's nine words in that sentence. Go ahead and write it. They put in their answer. They click submit. They're done. It really only takes about 5 minutes to administer that test, and then you can move on right into your most common word instruction. Before we do that though, I just want to take you real quick behind the scenes, just in case you are curious about this Google form, how you would make it. I just was in Google Drive, opened up a form, and then the big thing here is to come into settings, quizzes, and you want to make it a quiz. Another thing that I have set up that I would recommend is turning on for the release of grades to do it later after manual review. I pulled my questions, or sorry, not my questions, but my words right from the instructor cards. All of my questions were short answer, and then I can use an answer key to put in the correct answer. So my correct answer for number 1 was rim. Every single question that is a skill word, I assigned 2 points. Traditionally, it was 2 points, so that if we wanted to give a point for marking, we could do that. I'm keeping it 2 points now because 1 point if it's spelled correctly, and then 1 to account for those capital letters if those get snuck in there. So if they do spell it right, at least they're gonna get a point for that. If I click this mark other words incorrect, that means they have to do it this way. If not, they get a 0, and then I would have to manually add in that 1 point if it was spelled correctly, but it also included uppercase letters. So that is that. Next, I just want to go back and show you a couple of more things on those most common words that I had mentioned. So with the most common words, they don't have to be taught on Monday, but like I said, since the pretest just takes 5 minutes, what a great use of time there. So I'm actually going to stop share here, because when we do most common words, we want to start with the instruction with the opportunity for our students to process the word auditorily. So you would say, all right, students, today you're going to learn a most common word. The first word you are going to learn is my. My. Let me put it in a sentence for you. My favorite color is red. We want to give our students opportunity to formulate their own sentences with their word. So this could be done in a breakout group. Maybe you don't have time for that. Maybe you're just having them say one out loud, or tell somebody in the room if they're at home with an adult or with a sibling. We just want to give them that opportunity though to talk. Then you're going to have your students identify how many sounds are in the word my. Awesome. You want your students to respond. Maybe they're putting in chat 2 to answer that question. 2 sounds. I, my. Now we're going to start putting in the letters. We're connecting the sound to the print. A lot of times in most common word instruction, that doesn't happen. We're just having our students memorize a string of letters without thinking about those sounds. But we really want to push students to be thinking about the sounds and how they're showing up in print. So my, what's the first sound you hear? What's the second sound you hear? I. Now watch this, 3rd grade. I. My. Isn't that funny? My is spelled M-Y. Now you can use this as an opportunity to get your students to be thinking about this word. What do you already know about the word my? How many letters are in it? Awesome. Which parts are decodable? Which parts aren't? Get them talking. Next, you want to show them that you underline the word because it is a most common word. You would do that for all 5 of the most common words. Again, we want to focus on the parts of the most common word that are decodable. So maybe for the word first, you're seeing if they can identify that blend at the end of the word. Don't forget to show them to underline the word because it is a most common word. It's not fully decodable yet. And that's it. That is it for day 1 instruction with your students. You can use this as an opportunity to push out their homework page. What I like about the homework page is that it always gives an explanation at the top for families so that they have good information about what their child is working on. And then I also like this because it gives the student choice. They have this spelling tic-tac-toe board in which they get to pick which 3 activities they want to do. As long as they pick 3 in a row, they're good to go. So that is what you could pass out on Monday so that they have the full week to work on it. Your time with your students is done. However, you are not done because you still have those pre-tests to look at and to grade. If you were using the manual, you would use a chart like this that's provided in the resources. But for right now, we did it on Google Docs, which is nice because it grades it for you. It saves time. So let me pull that up real quick here and get that up for you. Okay, so I am back on the quiz that I had pushed out to my students, and I'm just going to click responses here. And now I can see how everybody did. It breaks it down into individual scores. You can go question by question. You can go to the summary. Joanna's going to show you a little bit more in detail how to grade those sentences for sentence dictation. Know that in the book here that it always breaks down those sentences for you so that you can figure out the grade and see how many most common words are in that sentence and how many points they would be and whatnot. So I'm not going to go into too much detail there, but I do want to show you real quick that you can go and click that little spreadsheet icon, and now you have some good data to work with right here. So you can use that data to drive your instruction and to think about what you want your students to be engaged in as far as activities go, based off of how they did on that pre-test. So you would use those numbers and then know that every lesson has a differentiation table in it, and it shows you what would be best for students depending on how they did. For example, students who score below 59%, they would benefit from a spell and sort. But for your students who are coming in with mastery, we want to push them and to challenge them more. So maybe they're given narrative or opinion writing prompts. And then here too, it also shows what would be a good use of direct instruction time. As you can see, the more the students struggle or the bigger the gap, the more time which would be allocated for direct instruction. Joanna is going to go in a little bit more in depth about how you will find those resources. And again, the resources that are listed here are available for everybody right now. Here again is that same page, but just a little bit bigger. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and really thank you for everything that you do for your students and for your community. All of us at Reading Horizons are just so grateful and really so inspired by you. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you later. Bye.